Hello everyone, Elias5891 here with another KTANE module tutorial. This time we're going to cover the square button module. This is a edgework heavy module potentially, so we're going to go ahead and grab that first. Two, four, five batteries and three holders, an unlit IND, a DVI port, and RCA port. Serial number is 731NE8, New England 8, Nancy or November Echo 8. So this is square button. You played vanilla, I'm sure, so the general idea here should not be that different or look that different. It's a button. You're going to press it and you're going to release it according to the rules in the manual, just like the vanilla button. So let's take a look at how we're going to do that though. We're going to go through the rules, top to bottom, take the first action that applies. Let's do the yellow button up here, the elevate button. So as the diffuser, I would tell my expert, alright, square button, yellow, elevate. Okay, first rule, if the button is blue and something else, it's not blue, so we can skip that. If the button is yellow or blue, it is, and it has at least as many letters on the label as the highest number of the serial number. Elevate is a 7-letter word, but our highest number is 8, so it does not have at least as many letters, so we're going to skip that rule. If the button is yellow or blue, and the label states a color, elevate is not a color. If the button has no label, that's not it. If the button is not dark gray, that's true, and the number of letters on the label is larger than the number of lit indicators. We have no lit indicators, we have more than no letters, so we're going to press and immediately release. I personally like to say click the button, so they know they're not going to hold it down for any length, but we're just going to click the button. Easy peasy. Let's flip to this side and do one. That way, if we need the clock, because we probably will. Side note, I did force this particular module to have 11 occurrences, which means it had to fit them on the back. Traditionally, this module will not go on the back of the bomb. It will be on the clock side. Let's do the blue detonate here. If the button is blue and the number of AA batteries is larger than the number of D batteries. Well, I gave you a battery count and a holder count, but I didn't tell you how many of each. So the way we get that actually is we subtract batteries minus holders. In this case, that gives us 2. That's how many pairs of AA's we have. So we have 2 pairs of AA's, so that's 4 AA batteries. And of the remaining batteries, we had 5 total, 4 AA's, so we have 1 D battery. So the rule here, button is blue, check, and the number of AA batteries is larger than the number of D batteries, that's also check. We're going to hold the button and refer to the releasing a held button. So we're going to refer to the part down here. So we're going to hold it, and we're going to tell... Oof. This is an interesting rule. I kind of hate to do this one first. Let's actually take the strike and get a different color. If you mess up and you do it again, you don't necessarily get the same strip. Some people actually use that as a strategy on the cyan flashing strip because it is too many people the hardest of the 6 rules down here. But we'll go through them all here in a minute. Obviously, I can't highlight things because I've got to hold the button down. Apologies. But we have an orange solid strip. So if you look at the rule for orange, the upper section, because the bottom section is for flashing, we're going to release when the 2 seconds digits add up to 3 or 13. As the expert, I just read that rule to my diffuser. Hold the button, release when the seconds digits add to 3 or 13. Well, I've got 3, 5 now. 3 plus 0 would give me 3. That's a safe number to release on. There we go. Let's hit another one. Yellow run button. Button is blue. No. Button has at least as many letters as the highest number on the serial. 3 does not cut it. No. It's not a color. It's not. Doesn't have a label. It's not dark gray, and the letters does exceed the number of lit indicators. This is a click one. That's alright. How about this one? Still not blue. At least as many letters on the label as the highest number in the serial. This says maroon. Maroon has 6 letters. That's not bigger than 8. If it's yellow and it states a color, maroon is a color though. So we're going to hold the button and refer to the releasing a held button section. So let's hold the button. It is solid green. Green is an other color. Green is the only other color, I believe. So we're going to release when the 2 seconds digits add up to 5. This is a little tricky to see. Let's zoom out some. We want them to add up to 5, so 0, 5 will cut it. So we're going to let go when the seconds are 0, 5. Boom. This one, white button that says maroon. So skip this rule because it's not blue, not yellow or blue, not yellow or blue. Does have a label. It's not dark gray. Letters exceed number of lit indicators, so it's a click. This one, I wanted to make sure we did get one of these. Not blue, not yellow or blue, not yellow or blue. If the button has no label, which is the case here, press and immediately release when the 2 seconds digits match. So it's a click, but it's a click with a condition. I do not suggest saying press and immediately release when, because a diffuser who's done this a few times is probably going to hear press and immediate release, and they're going to click it and let it go. What I do, keeping in mind I'm going to use the term click, is I read the second part of that condition first. I say, when the 2 seconds digits match, click the button. So we're going to go for double 5 and click there. We're actually going to abort this bomb and do another one because we're not going to do ones on the back. We won't be able to see the timer. So this will give us different edge work. We'll zoom through it real quick. Hopefully we'll hit some of these stripping. We'll hit some of the stripping colors. We'll hit some of the flashing colors for the strip. And if we don't actually see them, then we'll go over them manually. We have 2 buttons with no labels. They're not blue or yellow, so they're both going to apply to that same rule we just did. When the 2 seconds digits match, click. So double 4, click, and we're going to click this one at double 3 here in about 6 seconds. We'll do the elevate button above it next. So, boop. Alright, edge work, 2, 4 batteries, 2 holders. Remember, you can subtract. 4 minus 2 is 2 pairs of AA. That's 4 of the 4 batteries, so no D batteries. We have a parallel port, another parallel port, an unlit NSA, and the serial number is 7H4WZ4. 7 Hotel 4 Whiskey Zulu 4. So black elevate. Button's not blue, not yellow or blue, not yellow or blue. It doesn't not have a label. It does have a label. Button's not dark gray. It is dark gray. I call that black. A lot of people's going to refer to that as the black button. It's dark gray, though. Not quite black, or the words wouldn't show up on it. If there are at least 2 unlit indicators, nope, only 1. No other rule applies. We're going to hold the button. We hold it, and we get a flashing orange. That's different than what we had before. If the strip is flashing, follow these rules instead. Orange, release when the number of seconds displayed is either prime or 0. This does require you to have in your head some prime numbers. For example, 9 is not prime, but 7 is, so I release it on 7. If you don't know your prime numbers, give your expert an idea of where about on the clock you are. They can calculate for you. I believe the gamepad module, if you have that one as well, has a list of the prime numbers up to 100. So that should cover your needs. Let's hit this button. Blue run. Button is blue and the number of AA's is larger than the number of D's. That's true, so we're going to hold it. Solid cyan. Release when the 2 seconds add up to 7. 2 plus 5 is going to give me 7, so we're going to release at 25. And the last one, detonate, yellow. It's not blue. It is yellow, at least as many letters as the highest number. Detonate has 8 letters. That's higher than my largest number of the serial 7. So we're going to press an immediate release. We're going to click the button. That's really all we can do with this one. I can click this one when the seconds match, which I can't see because of the bombing on the other side, so that's why it doesn't put it on the back. I mean, you can try to guess. For example, I pressed that 55. I was listening to the dee-doo, dee-doo to count down seconds, but it never forces you to do that unless you force it to have more of a module than you want. Um, we have solid green, which we already did. That's when they add up to 5. We have solid green. Oh, that was fortunate. Did I just get another strike on that? Huh. So apparently for this one you can get a strike if you play around with the module after it's diffused. I got really lucky on landing on a seconds add up to 5 apparently. I'm not going to keep trying to get these last tools. We'll just talk about them. Uh, we did flashing orange. It's when the number's prime or 0, the seconds part. So 0, 0, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 5, 0, 7, 1, 1, 1, 3, 1, 5, not 1, 5, 1, 7, 1, 9, any prime number. For the other, for when it's flashing green, release 1 second after the 2 seconds digits add up to a multiple of 4. So let's assume our clock is at 5:24. We want the 2 seconds digits to add up to a multiple of 4. 24 is a multiple of 4, but I don't care about that. I want the sum of them to be a multiple of 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. So at 22, the seconds digits are going to add up to a multiple of 4, but I want to release 1 second after that, so I might push it at 5:21. That would be a valid time to diffuse it. For ones like this, if you're not as the diffuser comfortable doing these numbers in your head super fast, give the expert, tell him, okay, my clock's at 5:37. Maybe he'll say, okay, it's going to take me about 10 seconds, so 27. 26, 2 plus 6, that's a multiple of 4. 2 plus 6 is 8, multiple of 4, yep. So 1 second after that's 25. Click at 25 after, or 25 seconds. That way you've given them a little bit of buffer, a little bit of time for you to figure it out without forcing them to do it on the fly. Finally, the color I skipped, the flashing strip I skipped, cyan. Sounds bad. Release when the number of seconds remaining is a multiple of 7. People don't know their multiples of 7 as well as they do, say, multiples of 2 or 3 or 5 or 10. So, obviously, something like 7 times 5 is 35, so 35 seconds from detonation would be a valid answer. So would 42, 49, 56. But what above that? You might instinctively say that, but that's not correct. This one is worded in a very tricky way that's different. Whereas the rest of these talk about, or the other one that looks at your seconds as a actual thing as opposed to a set of single numbers you're going to manipulate. This cares about the number of seconds displayed. So in the case of my detonation here, that would be 21. On the other hand, this is talking about the total number of seconds remaining. It wants to know total number of seconds total. So my example up here, 11, 21. 21 is a multiple of 7, but this is not a valid time to release a flashing cyan strip. Reason being, I don't have just 21 seconds. I have 11 minutes and 21 seconds. Each minute has 60 seconds. So I actually have 681 seconds on my clock. And 681 is not a multiple of 7. Now, you'll notice I'm hitting some really big numbers really quick with this. A little intimidating. Granted, I had a 15-minute bomb, which is a little longer than you might see typically. Doesn't mean you're not going to see them, though. So how do I get this to a much more reasonable number to do quickly? If I got a calculator, might not be so bad. I can do 681 divided by 7. That doesn't work, so I might try 680, 679, 678. Find one that works. And when I do, I can just keep subtracting 7 seconds. But then I've got to remember I've got to put this back into time for my expert, or my diffuser, so he knows what he needs to be looking for. You can do it this way, but what I prefer to do is this. We mentioned if you got 0 minutes, you don't have to worry about that. So 007, 014, 021, all the way up to 056. The next time after that would be 7 seconds later, which would be 1 minute and 3 seconds. That's 63 seconds, which is 7 times 9. So if I just look at my seconds portion, don't look at the minutes for the immediate moment, I've got 3 seconds there, but I've got 4 more seconds that I'm actually counting because there's 4 seconds between this time and it actually rolling over to 1 minute. That's sort of the trick I use to doing these. For every minute, I have 56 seconds. That's going to be a multiple of 7, cancel out. But I've got 4 more seconds to account for in the minute portion. So let's take the detonation time I have up there, 11:21. I could do 11 times 60 plus 21, or instead of getting super, super high with my numbers, let's just deal with some slightly smaller ones. If I have 4 extra seconds per minute, I have 11 minutes times 4 is 44 seconds. Plus 21 gives me 65. This is a lot smaller of a number to deal with, and a much simpler one, a much easier one, in my opinion, to deal with. This way, if at least you know, say, your multiples of 7 up to 70, so your times tables for 7s, you should be able to get to a number pretty quickly. 65 won't work, but 63 would, so 2 seconds later, 11:19 in this case, would be a valid time. Again, though, this is assuming you're moving fast on the bomb. This is how I personally do it. But another thing I see a lot of people do, which makes a lot of sense to me, is, let's say this is our time. Let's go ahead and plan something ahead a while. So we tell our had it right the first time. So we tell our diffuser, hey, flashing cyan, we need total number of seconds to be a multiple of 7. If they're like, well, give me an answer for that. Well, let's ask what's on the clock. 11:21 right now. Okay, we can work with that. 11 times 4 gives me 44. Multiples kind of loop around, so I can start knocking off multiples to get things that are the same distance away. Like, for example, if I had 6, which is 1 less than a multiple of 7, and I added 7 to it, I'm going to get 13, which is also 1 less than a multiple of 7. If I add 7 more, I'm still going to be 1 less than a multiple of 7. Likewise, I can subtract. So this 44 seconds to deal with in the minutes, well, I know 42 is a multiple of 7, so I can subtract that. This 11 minutes is functionally the same as having 2 seconds over in this section. And if you work that out, if you actually do the math on that, uh, 660, when you divide that by 7, what do you get when you multiply that divide by 7? You get 9, 4, remainder 2. You've got that remainder of 2 to deal with. This is just a different way of getting it. Taking your minutes, multiplying by 4, and then subtracting by multiples of 7 as you need to get to a reasonably small number. So this is the same as 2 seconds. So I want to get to a multiple of 7, so I need to either add 5 seconds, or I need to add another 7, or another 7, or so on, so on. And notice earlier we said 11:19 was a valid answer. Here we're still getting 11:19 as a valid answer. So this is kind of the method. This is a method that works as well. This way, let's say clock is 5:42. All right, 5 times 4 is 20. Subtract 7, subtract 14. That gives me 6. I need 1 more to get to 7. So 501, 508, 515, 522. Just count up by 7s. And you can start giving them seconds to look for at the 5-minute mark. Or if, say, it's like right at the border, maybe it's 4 minutes and 1 second. Let's go ahead and just do it for 3 because we're probably not going to spit out an answer quick enough. 7 times 4 is 12. We'll go ahead and subtract 7 to make that a 5. So we're looking at 02, 09, 16, 23, 30, 3, 3, and then any of these seconds. So if my diffuser gave me 401 and I was like, okay, multiple seconds need to be multiple of 7. He's like, what is that? I'd be like, 3 fours is 12, 5, add 2 seconds, 302, 309, 316, 323, 330. I'd just start listing them off. So when I get to one that's close to where he's at, he can stop me and he knows what he wants to look for. This one particular case, when you have to hold a button and it flashes cyan, that's probably the trickiest part of this particular module. But there's a couple different ways to deal with that, as we've gone over. Find one that works for you. Some people prefer to use calculators. Some people use the method I just explained here. Some use the method I actually use because they don't mind big numbers. Any of that's fine. Just, as always, find something that works for you and run with it. But anyway, that's it for this time. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, or suggestions, as always, leave them in the section below. Until next time, this has been Elias. Thank you for watching. Have a great day and don't explode. Bye, guys.